yours. Yes, it's all our donated cleaning supplies. So overall, you guys are one of our biggest financial supporters, and knowing that we can rely on your support year to year is huge. With grants, you can't always sustain their longevity, so it might be a one-time grant, or you're not always sure you're going to be able to secure those funds for the following year, but you guys have been phenomenal on helping us to several different capacities. So I think the biggest is probably our overall growth. We continue to impact more lives every year, and it's because of financial support from individuals and organizations like Plymouth United Way.
Okay. So she had mentioned you had dealt with some of this grief when your mother had lost.
Yes. So okay, let me think. It will be 10 years ago this May. My dad passed away, and he had just retired. He turned 60 right before he passed away. So the thought was that my parents were going to retire and travel and be in Florida half the year and home with us kids half the year. I was fortunate. I had those parents that were like first grade sweethearts and never dated anybody else. So I thought they were invincible and superheroes in themselves. So when he got sick, it changed things dramatically. So he battled cancer for 2 years. He had a massive stroke, which debilitated him, and he had to learn how to swallow, how to walk and talk, and we had to take care of him. But unfortunately, the cancer came back and took him. So at first I was angry. I was angry with God. Like, how could you make someone suffer so much? And so I questioned my faith because I was very angry. You didn't have to make him go through all that to take him. I know he was an angel, and he's a gift to God, that he will do wonderful things with him up there. But I just felt like they took so much from him. So I was worried about my mom, because my mom and always relied on my dad. She had a medical condition, and he had taken care of her, and now the roles had reversed, and I was worried. Would she be okay? Would she be able to take care of herself? If a tree fell down in the backyard, my dad was the one to chop up the tree and dispose of it. So I worried. I worried about her eating dinner every night by herself. And who was she going to travel with? She was so young. Would she find joy and happiness to fulfill her and her purpose to live on? So I carried a tremendous amount of weight, just worry about her. And the type of person I am, I felt like my family, my husband, myself, and my 2 small children at the time would have grandma move in with us, because I just didn't know if she would be strong to get through it. And she had already been through New Hope when my grandmother passed away. She brought my grandfather because he was so lonesome. So they went through it then, and then she went through it again when my grandfather passed away, and she went through it when my dad passed away. And she made some amazing friends. I will call them life companions, because they now travel together. They are her bestest friends. I consider them good family friends of mine now, because over the last 8 years, they've become so involved with travel and just being involved in New Hope. So the burden of worrying about her quickly went away, because she became so actively involved here at New Hope. She facilitated some of our program efforts, and she still to this day volunteers at our holiday event, collecting donations for our auction. And she took the we to a me perspective, and she is flourishing. Everybody has their good days and bad days with grief, but I no longer worry about her at home eating dinner by herself. She usually has a companion or something to do with friends every evening. Getting grandma time is actually hard to schedule. So that it's been a blessing. It was a tremendous weight lifted off my shoulder.
So what made you start working here?
Great question. So I have always been service oriented. I always wanted to give back and serve to things that helped people. From a very young child, I felt it was. My mom will share that anybody that called, I'd invite them to dinner because I felt everybody needed a place at our table for some reason. I just wanted to care for everyone. So I ended up becoming a stay-at-home mom when we had our children. And a little over 2 years ago, I decided, you know what? They're getting older. They don't need me as much. I want to continue to serve. So I decided to look for something part-time. I have always been involved teaching catechism or fitness classes for free at different organizations just to give back. I've been very involved with the schools as a PTA member or volunteer serving to different capacities. So just because this impacted my mom so much, and I knew some of the director at the time here, I knew some of the facilitators, they had said, you know, we need to get you back in touch with the executive director at that time and figure out how we can bring you in and have you help us fundraise and plan our kids camp and our holiday event and just help out overall. So I started, I think it was shortly after you started.
Yeah,
I was supposed to be like 15 hours a week. I don't think I ever worked only 15 hours. And then it just grew. Our executive director last November was given the opportunity to adopt a young boy, a brand new baby actually. And so their family decided that he was going to stay at home. And so there was this big shoes to fill here at New Hope. They needed an executive director to keep New Hope serving our mission. So they asked if I would help them out on an interim basis. And boom, COVID hit. And I was the interim director. And I think a couple months into it, it just really solidified that it's a challenge. It has some hard days, hard decisions, but it just captivated my heart, and I know that I want to be part of what happens next here. So we had further discussion, and the board of directors asked me to take on the position full time. So here I am, weathering the storm.